Today I'll talk about inventory management. Inventories are materials and supplies that a business or institution carries for two purpose, either for sale or to provide inputs or supply to the production process. So your raw material as well as your end product, they both comes under inventory. As inventory are used, their value is converted into cash, which improve cash flow and return on investment. So as you convert your raw material to end product and you sell your end product, you will generate cash. Uh, this is also true for service industry. Service industry, like medical laboratory, clinical laboratory, is a kind of a service because healthcare is service industry. Service industry also have inventory. For example, in a clinical laboratory, we have inventory of reagents. We have other inventories like stationary items. So there are inventories in service industry also. And the third point is that there is cost for carrying inventory, which increases operating cost and decreases profit. So inventory is not free, it is associated with cost. Inventory is responsible for planning and controlling inventory management. What is inventory management? It is responsible for planning and controlling inventory from raw material stage to the customer. Inventory uh, management uh, is involved in various stages of production planning. For example, production planning, master planning, material requirement planning. These terms are used in production industry. Service industry is slightly different. So what are the approaches of inventory management? There are two approaches for inventory management. One is aggregate inventory management, the other is item inventory management. Aggregate inventory management deals with managing inventory according to their classification, for example, raw material, work in process, finished goods, and the function they perform. Whereas item inventory management deals with individual item, and the questions which are answered in item inventory management are which individual inventory item are most important, how individual items are to be controlled, how the important ones are to be controlled, how the less important ones are to be controlled, and how much to order at one time and when to order. So these are the questions which are involved in item inventory management. So what is the goal of inventory management? Goal of inventory management is to balance between the customer service, the level of customer service you want to achieve, and the cost of inventory. Because as one decreases, uh, the other increases. So if you want to decrease the cost of inventory, uh, you need to balance because uh, uh, when you cut down the inventory, there will be compromise in customer service. So first of all, we will take aggregate inventory management. The types of inventory, these are the types of inventory. One is raw material, the other is work in process, then finished goods. Then there are there is some inventory, certain number of items which are there in distribution. By distribution, I mean, as in production industry, some of the items are there which are transported from one city to other city in trucks and railways. And there are items which are lying on the shelf of distributors and shopkeepers. So all those items are known as distribution inventories. Then there is inventory related which are needed for maintenance, repair, and operational supply. So these are known as MROs. As for example, I told you about stationery, cement, and bricks. So these kind of inventory are for maintenance and repair. Then, what is the need for inventory? Why do we need inventory? Inventory is needed. There are two scenarios uh, in related to marketing. One is when demand is predictable, stable, and relatively constant. So if demand is predictable and stable, If, for example, if we know that uh, we uh, uh, we require uh, 10 glucose test reagents, then we require 5 typhoid tests, and we require 3 dengue tests daily, and this is fixed, then there is no need of inventory. You just keep reagents for these many number of tests. So when the demand is predictable, stable, and relatively constant over a long period, large enough to justify economic setting up of the system, then you can use just-in-time manufacturing. There is no need of inventory. But this is not true because demand is usually unpredictable. It is not sufficient and it is not stable. And in such a scenario, you need to keep uh, certain number of items and in inventory. So there is a need for inventory when demand is unpredictable. What is the classification of inventory? Inventories are classified on the basis of need, like anticipation inventory, when we anticipate future demand. For example, if we see that rainy season is coming and there will be more number of test demands for dengue fever or for typhoid, and you buy the reagents for these tests in anticipation and keep them with you in your laboratory. So that kind of inventory is known as anticipation inventory. Then there is fluctuation inventory or safety stock. You keep certain amount of test reagents required for safety, like there is fluctuation in daily test needs. So for these reasons, fluctuation inventory is there. Then lot size inventory or cycle stock. Uh, this is because production is usually in batches. So you need lot size inventory. Then there is transportation or pipeline inventory. As I told you, the certain items are there in our transportation system or in distribution channel. We need inventory for that. Then there is hedge inventory, and then there are those inventory required for maintenance and repair. So what is the objective, ultimate objective? Why do we need to manage inventory? We need to manage inventory to maximize customer service, to for low cost plant operation, and for minimum inventory investment. So we need to do these things. We maximize the customer service, at the same time we try to minimize the inventory investment. So these are the objective that we need to learn about inventory management, and we need to manage inventory. So these are the advantages of inventory. Then this slide is on balancing the inventory investment. I already described these things. Then what are the costs associated with inventory? So there are certain costs. One is item cost, then is the carrying cost, and then ordering cost, stock out cost, and capacity associated cost. We will take one by one. Item cost include the landed price, and landed price includes cost of the item, transportation cost of the item, custom duties. If item is procured from some other country, then there is custom duty associated with it. And we need insurance when we transport our material in certain large quantities by shipment or some other mode of transportation. We insure that our items. So there is a insurance cost associated. So these are the costs which are included in landed price. Then there is the carrying cost of inventory. So carrying cost of inventory include capital cost, because you 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 know you lock up some of your capital, your money in those items, and so that is known as capital cost, because you could have invested that amount in some other business task to gain more. Then there is storage cost, because when you store inventory, you need a secure place, you need a proper temperature, you need a refrigeration system, you need electricity. So that is all storage cost. Then there are risk costs associated with inventory, because some of the reagents, they may expire. So obsolescence cost, or there may be a damage cost. Some of the inventory may be damaged. Then pilferage and deterioration. Some of the item may deteriorate before their expiry. So these are the carrying costs. Then there is ordering cost. whenever you place order, there is cost associated with that order, because you need to telephone your supplier, you need to mail your supplier, and so these are known as ordering cost. Then there is stock out cost. So the stock out cost include back order cost. For example, uh, a customer came for request for typhoid test, and you do not have the reagent for typhoid test, and you requested the customer that okay, I will take your sample, but I will give you a report 2 days later. So that is like, yes, you will pile up your customer, that is back order cost. Then there may be lost sale. That customer is loyal to you, but that customer, you refuse that customer that I don't have reagent today, so I cannot serve you. That customer went to some other lab and got himself tested, but that customer is loyal to you. And the third scenario is customer loss. The customer was loyal to you, but since you refused him, you lost that customer forever. He will never come to your laboratory. So these are certain, stock out costs when there is no inventory left. Then capacity associated cost is, this is more important in production industry. So there are four methods accounting. We can use inventory like first in and first out, last in and first out. So we can, do accounting of cost depending on these principles. Then we come to item inventory management. Inventory management at the level of items. So as I told you, there are certain questions which are answered. One is, what is the importance of inventory item, how important the item is, how they are to be controlled, and how much to be ordered and when to order. So these are four basic questions which are answered by item inventory management. So first is, which of the item in our inventory is important. So this is known as ABC inventory classification. A items are important items, and C items are least important items. So this is ABC classification. This classification is based on Pareto's law. So according to, if you apply your Pareto law in your inventory management, then the statements are: group A items are about 20%. So only 20% items are in group A. Those are important items, but they are only 20%. But they account for 80% of your money. So 80% of dollar usage is associated with 20% of items, and those are labeled as group A items. Then group B items are another 30% items, and they account for 15% of dollar usage. Then there are items, half of the items, they consume our uh, very less money. So 5% of dollar usage is associated with 50% of items. And these are classified as C items. They are not very important items. So what are the steps in ABC classification? In ABC classification, we calculate the item characteristic that influence the result. For example, annual dollar usage. So annual, uh, your annual amount of money you invest in a particular reagent, for example, in a clinical laboratory, that using that criteria, annual dollar usage criteria, you can, classify those items, and you can then apply variable level of control depending on whether item is A item, B item, or C item. So, how will you control those A and B and C items? The general rules are: have plenty of low value items. So, because these items which are there in C, that is the least important items, you can have plenty of those items because they consume your 5% of dollar usage. So, they are not associated with much of cost, the item cost. Then, uh, use money and control effort to reduce the inventory of A items. So A items should be, less in your inventory because they consume a lot of your money, your dollar. So A items are high priority items, B items are medium priority, and C items are lowest priority item. And this is I have taken from a particular book of on management. This is an example how to calculate ABC. Any student, I can interact with student later and show you how to, execute this ABC classification. So there is a graph which is like this, and these items up till, approximately 20% items are in group A, then another 30% are in group B, and rest of the 50% are in group C. This is how you classify your items. So the next question was when to order uh, your order quantity. So these are the approaches for order quantity. One is lot for lot. You order exactly what is needed, and this is like just in time manufacturing, and it is best for A items. The other is you order a fixed quantity, or you can order uh, in a fixed time. I'll explain all of these later scenarios. Then there is something known as economical order quantity. So let us go to economic order quantity. So these are the assumptions associated with economic order quantity. Uh, if these are the abbreviations which are used, we can derive this formula of economic order quantity as quantity in terms of dollar. The quantity is equal to square root of 2 multiplied by annual dollar usage multiplied by ordering cost and multiplied by the annual carrying cost, which is in decimal or fraction. So this is the formula by which you calculate a quantity, how much you should order each time when you place order. And that will be very economical. I explain you with the help of this graph. If you plot the quantity which you order each time, so this is known as lot size. So if you order like 50 items each time, then there will be uh, uh, a less carrying cost because you are ordering 50 items every time. So there will be not much in your inventory. The item will be not in high number in your inventory because you are ordering less number every time. But since you are ordering less number every time, you need to order those 50 items more frequently. So your ordering cost, that is this black dot, will be more. So if you order a less lot size, you need to order and many number of times, so ordering cost will be more. So you increase the lot size. So you order 400 quantities at a time. Since you are ordering 400 quantities at a time, you will keep those 400 with you in your inventory. So your carrying cost, the hollow dot, your carrying cost will be much more for these 400, but your ordering cost, because you need to order only once or twice a year because you are ordering a large quantity. 400 is your lot size. So your ordering cost will be low. So if you plot these two curves, and you calculate the total cost, that is this plus this, the total cost curve will be a concave curve. And the lowest portion of this concave curve is the optimal quantity which you should order, and it will be where these two graphs intersect. So by this graph of hypothetical example, the 200 lot size is actually the economic order lot size which we should be ordering each time. It will be a balance between the ordering cost and carrying cost. So this was about economic order quantity. This is a very good principle. Then when to order. So let us go to when to order. Then we will come to safety stock. So there are two approaches when to order. One is known as order point system. So this is the graph of our stock. So at the start we have lot of stock, and as we keep on consuming the stock will decrease, and at this point there is known as order point, and we will order uh, a further batch of stock. But that stock will take time because the supplier will not supply you immediately as you telephoned him or you emailed him. He will supply after 2 or 3 days, or maybe 5 days, or maybe after a week. So during that time, your stock will further decrease, and it will go to the lowest level, and that lowest level is known as safety stock. I will show you how to calculate the safety stock. So you ordered here, and your inventory, your order is honored at this point of time after a lead time. Then your inventory will shoot up to this point. Then again you will consume it. Then again the order point will come, and then there is a safety point stock, and then your this. So this is known as order point system. So whenever your stock level, your inventory stock level reaches a particular point, then you will order. So this is one way of answering when to order. The other is known as periodic review system. In periodic review system, you will review your stock after certain period. For example, after a week, after 15 days, or after 1 month, or after 6 months. So you will be reviewing your system at equal interval of times. So for example, if you have reviewed your system at this R1 point, and you ordered your stock, so the stock will come after a lead time. Then your stock will shoot up. And how much will you order? You order that much quantity so that you can achieve a target level. So in this scenario, we will be reviewing our system in equal interval of times, but we will achieve a target level. So we will be ordering a variable quantity. Here we are ordering a large quantity. Here we are ordering a lesser quantity. So the quantity ordered will not remain same, but the interval by which you order will be variable, will be same. The quantity will not be same, but the interval will be same, because periodically at equal interval of times you are reviewing your system. Whereas in order point system, you will order at a variable point of time, because the order point may be reached sooner or it may be reached later. Whenever it is reached, you will order. So you will order, and you will order an economic order quantity, but uh, the time will be variable of reaching the order point. So this is about when to order. Then the last topic of today is on safety stock. So safety stock is that stock which we keep so that we do not lose our customer. Uh, Safety stock, the formula for safety stock is, the safety stock is equal to standard deviation multiplied by safety factor. And safety factor is, like, if you want to achieve 95% of your customer satisfaction, then you need to have the amount of stock as 1.65, that is this safety factor, multiplied by standard deviation of the the consumption which is expected during the lead time. So this is the formula for safety stock. uh, I'll go into much detail on this safety stock. If someone asks, I can again take a lecture. So this is end of my lecture. Any questions will be most welcome.